Tim Marzluck, a Chicago Tea patriot and a homeschool graduate, is a political activist. He was involved in the Ron Paul presidential race and was highly involved in Adam Andrzejewski's campaign. Tim was also involved in various different campaigns, such as the Campaign for Liberty, We Are Change Chicago, and he's also a member of the Chicago Tea Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you Tim Marzluck.
Thank you. It's great to be here at the second annual Chicago Tea Party. As you know, today is your deadline for you to pay your extortion check to the government. And it's a perfect day to tell the government that we are not happy about it. As Katharina said, I was homeschooled, which gave me more freedom to study what interested me most. So my interest led me to the history of our country and its politics. For my first presidential election, I was naturally drawn to the most constitutionally sound congressman and 2008 presidential candidate Ron Paul. Some would have us believe that this movement is about Republicans versus Democrats, rich versus poor, black versus white. It's not. It's about right versus wrong. The concept of the modern-day Tea Party started back on December 16, 2007 with Ron Paul supporters when Bush was president. These were mostly young people who were sick and tired of the old establishment Republican Party. They were sick and tired of the Republicans selling out the principles of limited government. They were sick and tired of the U.S. Constitution being ignored and trampled on by Republicans and Democrats alike. They were tired of a U.S. foreign policy that keeps sending U.S. forces overseas to advance a new world order at the expense of the American taxpayer. They were tired of the bank bailouts. They were tired of the lie that is the Federal Reserve. They wanted a constitutionally limited government, and that's why I joined the Tea Party. Some would have us believe that Sarah Palin is the face of the Tea Party. Don't get me wrong, there are things about Sarah Palin that I like. I appreciate her pro-life and pro-Second Amendment stands. But she is using her celebrity to prevent we the people from making needed political changes by supporting an anti-American globalist like John McCain. You may not be aware that McCain supports the job-killing, pro-globalization, NAFTA, CAFTA, GATT, and amnesty for criminals breaking our laws. And as if this isn't bad enough, he has recently co-introduced the Enemy Belligerent Act. If this bill becomes law, it will allow the government to detain American citizens indefinitely and without trial based on their suspected activity in matters that the president considers appropriate. That could be any one of us for just being here today. Don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. We don't need Sarah Palin's or Glenn Beck's. We must raise leaders from our own ranks who are not part of the present establishment. We must research every single candidate in the primaries and back the constitutionalists over those who support the socialists in the Democratic and Republican parties. We do not want the Republican Party to co-opt our movement by handpicking a candidate who has the same unconstitutional views as the politicians that we are trying to replace. It was Vladimir Lenin who said the best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. The greatest danger we face to American freedom today is not terrorism, it's not Russia's or China's long-range nuclear missiles or even Iran. It is our own civic apathy and cowardice towards government domination. The cost of this apathy is possibly the future existence of this nation, our freedom and way of life, and possibly the enslavement of the entire planet. In conclusion, I believe the purpose of the Tea Party movement is to reject the overreaching hand of government. By putting principle over politics and supporting and defending the U.S. Constitution, supporting limited government and personal liberty, ending the preemptive and pervasive wars, abolishing the IRS, getting rid of the illegal and unconstitutional Federal Reserve, and putting truth and integrity back into government.